Okay, this is Terry Adair in Houston, Texas with the Affordaplane build, and I have had some requests for maybe some closer detailed shots, but I also have some information here I'd like to ask. I'll go over, some of the few things I've been doing, but first I'm kind of right here at this muffler, and you see, comes out of the manifold right here, comes down, and there is a line right here. This is where it needs to be welded up per the instructions for this type of muffler. But here's something I'm having difficulty with. You see the space in between? I need some sort of a muffler bracket to go off of this. I have another piece of reinforced metal right here that I would like to bolt right into here and wrap around the muffler. Now, I have tried every search term I can think of: muffler hangers, muffler brackets, clamps, Rotex, Hearth, and I see all kinds of different configurations. And surely I see a lot of people, they probably fabricate their own thing. I don't know. But, I'm thinking with something like this, I mean, surely somebody makes a muffler bracket or clamp that wraps around a muffler and just bolts to a flat surface via 2 or 3 bolts. I've tried looking all over the place. I even went to a big rig shop looking for those big rig clamps, but they only make them in 5 and 6 inches. This muffler is about 5.5 inches. So Dave or anybody else, if you got an idea or a resource, a name, a part number, anything that I might be able to just order a part to bolt up on this thing and be done with it, once it's welded into place, of course, that would be great. Otherwise, we're going to have to fab something. We're going to have to weld something up here, and I don't know, a clamp or something to put a bracket, or a bracket to put a clamp on, a standoff, some rubber isolators. I just can't believe it's that hard to find something. Well, anyway, you'll notice that I've put the sidewalls in. I've also installed new wire cable clamps everywhere. I've tied down my wires with little wire ties. Everything's nice and neat up off the metal. We have a nice big wire bundle here for our EIS for God knows how many upgrades you could do to this thing. I'm going to walk around. We did put the Black Max brake system on it, hydraulic brakes, and looks like I may have a little bit of a hydraulic leak there. I may have to tighten something up. And some of this is just, people have seen this before, but I brought it outside the garage today, away from a lot of the junk that's in there. Had some comments on this throttle linkage. Some folks talk about, this in a good position going up and down because of, thermals and whatnot. I have a friction knob here that I've manufactured or fabricated, and you can see when you rotate it, that thing drops right down, of course, because it's spring loaded. So, I anticipate putting it on and, tightening it up whenever we go to fly. And I know people say, oh man, your hand's always on the throttle, but if we can get it set to cruise and lock it down, that's always nice too. Plus my knee happens to rest right about here, so I don't think it's going to be too big a deal. Otherwise, I've played with the idea of putting it right here on the seat, on the side, and I don't know, I just don't want to crawl over it, bend it back and forth, and just something that can break. Okay, anyway, I'm going to walk around here. This prop is actually hot. I've got the new battery installed. Let me show that to you. Okay, this is a battery tender, 12-volt battery. It's a Lifey battery, lithium ferrite, or lithium ferrite iron, something like that. Anyway, that battery only weighs 2 pounds and 10 ounces. We have it bolted in right here to the firewall on the negative. Over here we have the positive connected, a little bit of rubber around the sides to kind of help isolate it. And also we got these big thick rubber bands. That thing is in there solid. Here, let me we can shake the whole airplane And I'm actually touching the bottom of the battery there. You can see how that goes together. Solenoid. Okay. I'm going to come back around here. Oh, we just put these in. Got these also from Summit Racing. Crow 5-point Hunter system. I tell you what, you definitely feel secure when you put that on. Okay, we have our Ritchie boat compass. It's also lighted. I don't know that you can see the light, but it's kind of bright out here. And we just put these little rubber deals all around here as well. Okay, so we'll move on down to some of the connections, elevator connections, aileron connection. That's where we tied in the seat belts. Cables coming up. Have a vent here on the top of the gas tank. This is where our horizontal stabilizer connects to the fuselage, safety wired, and double bolts holding on the elevator. A couple little cups under there, saddles to hold it. Yeah, we'll come down here and we'll look at our tail wheel setup. Installed these little nylon blocks in the ends of the tubes. Try to keep the critters out. A white primer. Seen lots of great paint jobs online. Not sure what we're going with yet. Rudder cable running down here. Elevator belt crank. Here you can see the connection point for the fuel tank. It's also right up in there. Connects to these bars. And these bars wrap around the tank. And if you see a little bit of something in here that looks like a little caterpillar, that's some that is some anti-friction tape. Here's our connection point for our fuel line. And that is our outside air temperature probe. This is when we come under the seat of the airplane. See our fuel line. Comes right up here to our valve. Runs right up through the firewall to the engine. There's our fuse block or a fuse box. EIS system information coming on. .85 degrees outside. Now I don't want to do this too much, but I will give y'all a quick demo. Before I do, let me just pull this muffler off because it's not welded. I don't want it dropping to the ground. Clear prop. That was pretty exciting. I could actually feel it pulling the airplane forward. Alright, and we'll turn that master switch off. And we're dead now. Very good. Okay. And these are our throttle setup. There's our compass. It's a lighted compass, so we do have a little wiring back there. And our H7335 2-into-1. I've used these caps here to cap off the enrichers. This little silicone hold them in place. I need to also think about making myself a shroud there, or some cooling shroud for the engine to kind of direct the air in and out. It'd be nice if I could find one of those and just buy it too. I tell you, after all the time I've spent on this airplane, I'm really proud of the work I've done. I appreciate all the nice comments everybody gives me, but man, I am really getting sick and tired of just building and fabricating. I'm pretty sure next time I do an endeavor like this, I think I'm going to look for something that I can build from a kit and just buy the parts. A lot of time sourcing material, a lot of time fabricating parts. There's not a whole lot more to this. I think we've done pretty much a complete walk around. That little hole right there is actually where a throttle cable was going to go. And it may still go, I don't know. Like I said, I am still arguing with myself about this throttle. I mean, works pretty good. You just tighten this little friction knob up, loosen it, and now this isn't just tapped on the aluminum. I actually put a helicoil in there, so there's steel threads, and the helicoil has been mashed down into the aluminum and then grinded off on the edges. There's about 6 AN number 3 washers right there, along with a nylon, kind of give us something to pinch against. I don't know how clear this is coming through. And then we have a little lock nut back here, and that really isn't necessary. Probably a castle nut would be better with a little cotter pin, but it's just there kind of just for my own security, I guess. I mean, as you see, it doesn't really move. That's the whole thing moving there. But when we tighten it up, and that's not even all the way tight, I mean, you can loosen it just a little bit. You can see it doesn't take a whole lot right here, and that throttle pretty much stays wherever I put it. And don't know where this thing's going to cruise at, but fairly certain that once you get to cruise and you want to stay there, you just lock that thing in place like that, and it's not going anywhere. And of course, this is where my Galaxy Note 8 goes with the eEFIS programming, which, wow, it really seems to work real well. I went ahead and purchased the actual software, although the free version will probably work too, but you know, I wanted the color, I wanted the option to be able to upgrade and use all the functions, so I went ahead and purchased it. It's called eEFIS, and you can find that on the Android market. I don't know about iPhone users, but you'll have to take a look. Oh my goodness. So I am almost 15 minutes into this video, and I just don't know what else I could show you. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. If there's anything in particular anybody wants to see more closely, I had a fella on YouTube asking me about where I purchased my wing brackets. Gosh, I can't even remember. It's been a while. I wanted to say Wix, or maybe even oh, what's the other one? Lockwood Aviation. I just can't remember, guys. I have to go through my receipts and figure out where I got those things from. But they are the stainless steel. and they're pretty dang solid. So they ought to be good. Okay guys, signing off.